I'd like to call to order the meeting for the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees. I appreciate your interest in the Alabama Community College System, and I'm glad to see some of our presidents out today, so we've missed you, and it's great to see those smiling faces out there. And again, a great deal of work has gone into the preparation of our documents. I commend the Chancellor and his staff, the presidents and your staffs, for developing the documents for our meeting today. And as always, we're laser focused on student success and still remain true to our mission of education, workforce development, and academic transfer. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our pastor. He has a very famous name, Pastor James Taylor. He became senior pastor at Camellia in September of 2020. He's originally from Opelika, Alabama, and graduated from Auburn University with a bachelor's degree in history in 2006. In 2012, he graduated from the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky, with a Master's of Divinity degree in Biblical Counseling. He began his ministry in 2007 as an NAMB missionary, serving as the Edgewood Baptist Center in Dayton, Ohio. He then served from 2009 to 2013 as associate pastor of counseling and outreach at Bellwood Baptist Church in Columbus, Georgia. For 7 years, from 2013 to 2020, he was senior pastor at First Baptist Church in Clay, Kentucky. He's been married to Hillary from Enterprise, Alabama, and they have 4 children, Elijah, Aiden, Anna, and Samuel, and they have homeschooled their children since 2014. Pastor James Taylor.
I do want to thank you all for this invitation to come and to serve you. I should add as well, you probably need to add that information, attended Southern Union there in Opelika for 2 years. So grateful for the work that all of you do for our great state. Y'all join me in prayer. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this opportunity presented to us this morning. At the start of this day, we want to pause to confess that this is the day that the Lord has made and to determine that we shall rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you that your mercies are new every morning, that your grace is sufficient for all of our needs. And at the start of this meeting, we thank you for all of those in attendance and for all of the work that they do here for our great state of Alabama. We pray for their meeting. You say in James chapter 1 that for those who ask that you give wisdom generously. And I pray that that would be true for all here in attendance this morning. Father, bless those who are here. May their business be done well, honorable, and to the glory of God. May we all be faithful to the Lord and faithful to those we serve. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Let's please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, Ms. Wilkins, will you please call roll?
Mr. Jeb Shale.
Present.
Mr. John Mitchell. Ms. Valerie Gray.
Present.
Mr. Matthew Woods.
Present.
Mr. Goodrich Rogers.
Present.
Mr. Milton Davis.
Present.
Mr. Levelyn Roan.
Present.
Mr. Blake McAnally.
Present.
Dr. Yvette Richardson.
Present.
Governor Kay Ivey. You have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Our agenda was distributed in advance to our board members, and at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve our agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McAnally.
Second.
Second by
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving our agenda, please signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Okay, next is the approval of our minutes. And again, the minutes were distributed in advance to our members. And at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Wood. Second by Mr. Roan. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Minutes approved. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, next on our agenda is the Academic and Student Affairs, Adult Education, Facilities, Fiscal Information Technology, and Workforce Development. Item 7A1 is, it is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Wallace Community College, Dothan to proceed with the construction of the Drainage Improvement Project. The scope of work for the Wallace Community College Dothan Drainage Improvement Project is to complete stormwater drainage improvements on the Wallace and Sparks campuses. Construction contracts should be executed no later than August 31st, 2022, or this authorization shall expire. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Woods,
Second.
second by Ms. Gray. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next on our agenda is item 7A2. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Jefferson State Community College to expend $739,445 or $44.98 for the purpose of updating the college's security camera systems for all 4 campuses. Is there a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion by Mr. Woods,
Second.
second by Mr. Shell. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 7A3. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Coastal Community College to charge $24 per credit hour for textbook rental to take effect fall semester 2022. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Shell,
Second.
second by Mr. McAnally. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 7A4. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees adopt the attached amendment to the resolution adopted by the board on March 10th, 2021 for the current Southern Union bond refinancing. Its main purpose is to amend the pledged revenues for the current and all future Southern Union bonds. This will allow Southern Union to be on the same pledged revenue basis as most other Alabama Community College System institutions. Other institutions pledge revenue from fewer fees than Southern Union to secure their bonds. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gray, second by
Second.
Mr. McAnally. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 7A5, and it is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the president of Northwest Shoals Community College to utilize CARES Acts funds for the purchase of equipment and supplies for instructional programs as outlined in the attached documents. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Rogers. Second by Mr. Woods. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 7A6. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve an additional instruction site for Wallace State Community College, Selma. The proposed site will enable the college to provide a quality educational and workforce training facility for students and industry in Marengo, Hale, Greene, and Sumter counties. Currently, the college is offering technical programs at the New Era facility. With the move to the proposed site, the college can enhance program offerings and grow student enrollment in the area. In addition, the proposed site can be used to provide a variety of workforce training opportunities for area industries. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Roan, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next on our agenda is the executive, legal, and public information. First is item 8A1. It's recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the president of Jefferson State Community College to name the Student Success Center on the first floor of Lurleen Wallace Hall on the Jefferson campus for the Regents Foundation. The Regents Foundation will gift Jefferson State Community College $500,000 for the naming opportunity. These funds will be used for equipping and staffing the facility. Is there a motion? Motion by Mr. Woods,
Second.
second by Mr. Shell. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 8A2. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the president of Bishop State Community College to name the computer lab in the Advanced Manufacturing Center as the Trustmark Computer Lab and to add appropriate signage. Trustmark National Bank would gift Bishop State Community College $15,000 for the naming opportunity. These funds will be used in purchasing equipment for the facility. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Shell. Second by Mr. Roan. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 8A3. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the current mission statement of Chattahoochee Valley Community College. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gray, second by Mr. McAnally. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 8A4. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the current mission statement of Lurleen B. Wallace Community College. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Shell,
Second.
second by Ms. Gray. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 8A5. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the revised mission statement of Snead State Community College. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Woods,
Second.
second by Ms. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is item 8A6. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the Alabama Community College System on behalf of the Alabama Center for the Arts to purchase property located at 402 Moulton Street, East Decatur, Alabama. And this property purchase will support programmatic expansion for the Alabama Center for the Arts. Is there a motion?
So move.
Okay, motion by Mr. Rogers, second by Mr. McAnally. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next is the resolution regarding the disposition of the Heritage Trail. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gray, second by Mr. Shell. Any discussion? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion approved. Next on our agenda is personnel. Chancellor.
Yes. Okay, I see the party in the back.
Okay.
We have some new employees we wanted to introduce.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Nikita Payne, and I am the Director of Human Resources for the System Office. I am pleased to announce the appointments of the following to the System Office. Kayla Dozier. Kayla is the Community Engagement Coordinator for System Development and Strategic Advancement. Kayla joined us January 3rd, with more than 6 years of higher education experience. Prior to joining ACCS, she served as the athletic academic coordinator at Troy University and previous as an admissions counselor at the university. She has also taught adjunct classes in communication and first-year studies there. Kayla earned a Bachelor's of Science in Communications, Arts, and a Master of Science in Strategic Communication from Troy University. Jessica Perez. Jessica is the Community Engagement and Data Coordinator for System Development and Strategic Advancement. Jessica joined ACCS January 3rd, but previously served as ATN Workforce Research and Data Analyst since August. She has more than 3 years of analyst and education experience. Prior to joining ACCS, she served as the physical analyst for the Legislative Services Agency, where she provided physical nonpartisan analysis of legislative proposals. Jessica earned both a Master's of Science and a Bachelor of Science in Economics from Auburn University at Montgomery. Shannon Richardson. Shannon Richardson is the Administrative Assistant for Instruction, Research, and Development. Shannon, a Trenham State Community College alumni, joined us January 3rd with more than 12 years of higher education experience and 3 years of experience in federal government. Prior to joining ACCS, she served as an Administrative Associate Office Manager at Auburn University at Montgomery. Prior to then, she served the Department of Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, division as Executive Assistant to the Director and a Public Affairs Specialist. Shannon earned an associate's degree in Occupational Technology and certificates in Clerical Technology and Nursing Assistant, all from Trenham State. She also earned a certification in Events Planning from Auburn University at Montgomery. Dr. Veronica Moran. Dr. Moran is the Associate Director of STEM and Distance Education for Instruction, Research, and Development. Dr. Moran joined us February 16th with nearly 19 years of higher education experience at colleges and universities. Prior to joining ACCS, she served as the Assistant Director of STEM Outreach and Programs at Auburn University. Prior to then, she served as an Associate Professor of Biology at the Georgia Highlands College for more than a decade. Dr. Moran earned a Bachelor of Science in Biology and a Master of Science in Biology from Jackson State University. She earned a Doctorate of Education in Higher Education Administration from the University of Alabama. Kathleen Jones. Kathleen Jones is the Central Region Director of Adult Education. Kathleen joined us March 1 with more than 25 years of higher education and workforce experience. Prior to joining the ACCS, she served as Training Manager for Facilities Management HR at Auburn University. Prior to then, she served for more than a decade at CVCC as an adjunct instructor for workforce skills development and as a manager of curriculum and instruction at Goodwill Industries of the Southern Rivers. Kathleen earned a Bachelor of Science in Workforce Education and Development from Southern Illinois University, a Master of Science in Foundations in Education from Troy University, and an Educational Specialist degree in Adult Education from Auburn University. Please join me in welcoming Kayla, Jessica, Shannon, Dr. Moore, and Kathleen to the Alabama Community College System. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, as I have previously informed the board, I've terminated the president of Shelton State College on February the 10th, 22. I request that the Board of Trustees ratify this action to terminate Mr. Newman's executive office contract of employment under Section 8.4 of his contract.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the Board of Trustees ratify Chancellor Baker's action terminating Brad Newman as president of Shelton State Community College and immediately terminate Brad Newman's executive officer contract of employment under 8.4 for a cause.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Gray. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Roan. Any discussion? All in favor of this motion, signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Mr. Chancellor, anything else? Okay, next we have the Chancellor's report.
I'm looking for Olivier. No, this is premier performance. But I say that because Olivier and his staff, in working with colleges across the system, has brought about one of the more sophisticated programs of student services, utilizing software, and we're just beginning. There's a lot more to come. And I appreciate the work that everybody in his organization and across the system is doing to increase and do a better job in student services.
I agree. We always talk about laser focus on student success, and we appreciate you. You're becoming a rock star here, so.
Well, thank you all for the pressure to start off. Gee. But thank you all again so much for just a few minutes to provide you just 3 quick updates. I've grown accustomed to the theme of just 3 quick things, so if you all indulge me for just about 10 minutes. So we wouldn't be justified if we didn't start with an update of spring enrollment. And I know this is extremely hard to read, but this is a current snapshot as of 5 p.m. yesterday of where we as a system stand with spring 22 enrollment. Long story short, if I may, let you know that as head count wise, we are up about 6%, and credit hour production wise, we're up about 2%. And you can see what the raw numbers indicate. So 4,200 more head count, and about 12,000 more credit hours produced as a system. As of right now, 22 of our colleges are currently up in comparison right now to this time last year for spring 21, and 20 out of our 24 colleges are up in terms of credit hour production. The numbers are going to steady a little bit as our colleges have just started. Most of them have just started their second mini-term. So we expect these percentages to hold fairly true, and I can confidently say, I wasn't confident last week, but I can confidently say that it looks like for spring 22, we will also see an increase in enrollment in comparison to spring 21. So far, so good in terms of spring enrollment. And I also want to say that these are for credit-bearing classes, so degree-seeking students. We are always on to the next semester. And again, I know this is extremely hard to read. I apologize for that. But in terms of looking at fall, we bypassed summer for the purposes of this report. But in terms of fall 22 semester, there are certainly some positive indicators as well. As a system, right now, we are up 18% year to date. So on March 9th of this time last year, we are up 18% from where we were with applications for fall enrollment. So our fall application numbers are up as well. As you can see, that bottom row of that chart, total for fall last year, we had about 84,000 applications. On this exact date, yesterday, year to date, we had 24,000 of those applications. As of yesterday, for this year, for this fall, we received 28,000. So a year-to-date comparison shows that we're up about 18% in terms of application. The thing to notice here is, total last year for fall semester, we as a system had that 84,000, but notice we're only at about 24,000 at this point. And the reason for that is community college application numbers typically happen at a high rate between March and August of every single year for fall semester. So I say that to say the next 5 months are critical for us to make our application numbers. But kudos to our presidents. As you can see, them and their teams are already on top of this because we're already up 18%. So these are good signs for fall semester, but to be honest with you, the work is still ahead of us. We still have 5 strong months of application persistence that we need to follow. So in terms of the fall semester, that's the good sign right now. But again, kudos to our presidents for being on top of this and seeing this as a trend and making sure that all of our teams are focused on getting application numbers for fall while also working the current semester. So that was update number 1. A quick update on the CRM. I know y'all are used to hearing me talk about this, but in terms of the CRM, the update that I'd like to give you today is that currently 6 of our colleges are live. They are live with their application suite. Students are using the product. It is a much more intuitive, user-friendly system, very simple on the student side, and on the back end, the people at our colleges are becoming more efficient, easier to process, so everything is going well. 1 more college will go live today. Coastal Alabama will go live today, so we'll be up to 7. And we are on track that by the end of this month, by April 1, all of our colleges will be live with their CRM application. So hopefully next month, if I update you, It will be to tell you that all of our colleges are live and functioning well and doing well with the product. As of right now, we have, I'm going to knock on wood as I say this, but we have not received any negative complaints about the software from the schools that are live. They actually love the product. We received a story from one of our colleges, and I love this story because it speaks to how the technology is working for them. That college, since they launched last week, they've received 80 applications for admissions. But out of those 80, 20 of those applications were students that started an app but did not finish it. And those students did not finish the applications, their applications for admissions. In the past, we did not have a way to communicate with those students to nudge them to finish. But because of this software, we've built a campaign that captures any single student that started an app but did not finish it to automatically nudge them. So even though they had 20 apps that weren't complete, within 24 hours of those students applying for admission, they had already received an email that said, hey, Olivier, you have 6 more questions to finish your applications, and in 11 minutes, you can finish your application. So it's that intuitive of a software. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about that success story. Once we get past the April 1 date, we will implement what's called an Insights platform. The colleges will not have to do nothing, but what this will do is give presidents and administrative people and even people that are using the software daily a dashboard if they want, and they can customize their dashboard to get a daily update to say, yesterday you received 10 applications, or this email is performing really well because you've got 14 click rates, or this text message had 97 opens. So it will be as customized as those people, those presidents, and those administrators want it, but they'll have a dashboard that essentially tells them what's next and what's going on. And following that Insights, we are going to implement our retention suite, and that is when we become full service with our product. Advisors will have access to their students. They'll be able to advise them for the next semester. They'll be able to see whatever we want them to see, but it'll be a better tool for our advisors to be able to communicate with our students. So positive things so far from the CRM. By the end of this month, the next 3 weeks, we're certainly going to see all of our system be live with, at minimum, the recruitment suite, which will include the email and the text message and all of those capabilities. So what I love about this product, and you all are free to play with it, if you visit one of our 6 schools that are live right now, it is a simple application to use on the student side, and that's exactly what we wanted. They can use any device, anytime, any day, but it is just a very user-friendly application for admission. The last update that I have for you is a rather positive one as well. I want to tell you about some agreements that we have signed, or an agreement we have signed with Pilgrim's Pride. As you all know, Pilgrim's is a chicken processing plant. It is a seriously large operation, headquartered in Colorado, actually. And the best way for me to tell you about this agreement signing is to tell you about a conversation I had with Joe Whitmore, the president of Snead, right at about a year ago. Dr. Whitmore called me to tell me that Snead was having a conversation with their local Pilgrim's plant in Guntersville. And I appreciate Dr. Whitmore's foresight on this conversation because he saw an opportunity, because Pilgrim's wanted, at that particular plant, wanted to find a way to pay tuition for all of their employees that work at that plant to attend Snead. Well, Dr. Whitmore saw something bigger. He saw an opportunity for the other 2 plants around the state to benefit from this as well. So thanks to his foresight, we were able to start a conversation not just about the Pilgrim's plant in Guntersville, but about the one in Russellville and Enterprise as well, and figure out a way as a system to work with that company to create a program where they would be willing to pay tuition for any employee or their dependent that works at one of their facilities. So we are excited about that. We're excited to be where we are. We, I guess, would be beta for a program that Pilgrim's has called Better Futures, and that's the program. It's a way for them as a company to pay the college tuition to a local community college. They were very specific about that, to a local community college where their plant resides or where their plant is, and give their employees and their dependents an opportunity to receive some higher education. And I love what Corey Friend from Pilgrim said is they see growing their company by growing their employees. And the way that they see doing that is through education. So the conversations were relatively easy to get this done, but we're excited about that. Once we got to the point where we got an agreement finalized, it took us a while, but we had to break some barriers, and a year later we have what we love as an agreement, and we love to see this, a wonderful agreement that gives a wonderful opportunity to people at those plants and those communities. And our commitment from those 3 colleges was really simple. They agreed to help students with applications, with FAFSA applications and with anything else, and the plan agrees to give us a space and a platform to do that. So it was a fairly easy agreement to come to. We had 3 signings around the state. People from my office and the Chancellor also traveled with us, and we had 3 individual signings across the state at the 3 sites because we wanted this to be a local thing. And if you all will indulge me for just about 2 minutes, Clinton Bourgeois and Ebony Horton from our marketing office went with us to every signing, and they put together a little video of each of those signings. So I'd love to share that video with you today. I hope this works.
Part of the mission of the Alabama Community Colleges is to provide the skills and training to have the most highly developed workforce that we can.
And we want to be an everything school. Whether you want to get a short certificate, whether you want to get an associate's degree, we want to be everything that we can be for this community.
This particular situation that we've come up with is not just win-win, it's win-win-win.
When I actually told my daughter, she's my oldest, that I was going to be going to college, she was excited for me, and I cannot wait to get started.
We win because we are fulfilling our mission, helping the people of our community in our service area better themselves.
Always thought about going to college, but financially, it was just not going to happen for me.
Every time we can join with a partner to bring about change in the community helps make our citizens better citizens.
Pilgrim wins because they are developing a happy workforce.
This agreement are more than 600 team members.
This impacts over 1,400 team members.
We employ over 1,000 team members at the complex in Russellville, 49% of which are from Franklin counties.
It also keeps our educational investments in the community from Pilgrims, both in terms of dollars spent and in helping build a more educated workforce in those rural communities.
The big winners, as I said, are the students that will help them and their dependents do much better.
I want to go into business administration. I want to further my education in that field so I can continue to grow inside the company that I'm working for. It's a blessing. I'm thankful. It's something that I could only dream of happening.
And what a powerful statement from that company to be able to invest in their employees in such a way. So total of 3,000 companies between the 3 plants around the state. But I think the more powerful impact is how many dependents those people have that can go to school, tuition covered as well. And I love what the student said, Joseph, I forgot his last name, but Joseph currently works on the line, and he's trying to pursue a business administration degree, and he can grow within the company. And I think that's what Pilgrims wants to see. That's what we all want to see. But even imagine a student, a person that's on the line right now, that person can become a truck driver, a CDL driver, because this agreement not only covers credit-bearing courses, it also covers non-credit. So it creates an opportunity for somebody who's making $12 an hour to possibly double or triple that. And that is huge impact on a family, and that is literally life-changing and tax bracket changing as well. So kudos to our presidents who worked this, and their deans of students and their chief student affairs officers, because all we did was become the middleman. But we're really proud of this agreement, and we're proud to see some enrollment growth from those 3 colleges per that agreement. So thank you all so much for your time. I'll take any questions that you have.
I was going to say thank you, Olivier, and I would like, again, the presidents are here. I just want to thank you personally and on behalf of the board for the growth. I know it's been a tough 2 years, and if I'm not mistaken, we have exceeded the growth rates of other community colleges throughout the country, and that's just a testament of you doing the right thing. And you know, every day you see projects being announced from the southernmost tip of the state to the topmost tip of the state, and you're helping us, you know, meet our workforce needs. And I just want to personally say thank you. You know, we're not satisfied. We can't become complacent, but we're trending in the right direction. And again, I said thank you, and let's just keep it up. Let's keep doing what you're doing.
Challenge accepted.
So, Olivia, well, one, congratulations. I know it's a lot of hard work getting that piece done, but I mean, I want to know how we can help y'all to duplicate it and reach out to Alabama businesses that might be interested in this, because I think it's a great program and might be some takers out there.
Yes, sir. That's partially why we made that video. We hope they're watching, to be honest with you. And this is great. We hope other companies want to, and we know things like this already exist, but we'd love to see other companies take part in this and do this same thing for their employees. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Boone?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and trustees. Chancellor Baker wanted me to give you all a quick legislative update. We are, as of today, we are 2/3 of the way completed with the 2022 legislative session. It has flown by. The legislature has met, has done 3-day legislative weeks, which the typical pace is 2-day. So that has caused things to really move forward at an accelerated rate. There's been a lot of activity over the last couple of weeks, and just wanted to update you on a few of these things. Obviously, the most important priority that we have each year is the education budget. And as of yesterday, the House of Representatives debated the budget and passed it out of their chamber yesterday. The House-passed budget maintains positive investments for the ACCS that were included in the governor's recommendations, and many of which were included in the agenda that the board approved several months back. These include increases in dual enrollment scholarships, prison education, funding to develop more short-term workforce training certification programs, as well as funding for upgrading career tech equipment and expanding healthcare training programs. The House-passed budget also increased operations and maintenance funding that will be provided to each of the 24 community colleges. The budget package also includes funding for a 4% pay raise for our hardworking college employees who have worked diligently through the COVID-19 pandemic. We've been very appreciative. We worked very hard with the Budget Committee, and especially with Chairman Danny Garrett, and just really appreciative to the House for the positive aspects that they have passed in the budget. Obviously, we'll continue to work and engage as the budget moves to the Senate for further consideration. We've also been involved in a couple of other issues, major issues this session, to ensure that existing authority of our system and colleges are protected. One of those items has been a gun rights piece of legislation, and we've worked with legislators to include language in that legislation to ensure that this board continues to be able to set policy regulating the possession of firearms and other weapons on college campuses. This language has been included in the bill versions that have passed both the House and the Senate, and we feel very, very confident that it will be included in the final version that is being debated and worked out presently. There's also been legislation that has been recently filed that would relook at the construction management legislation that passed last year. As you know, we spent a considerable amount of time and effort supporting that legislation. We've worked with the bill sponsor to include language in that bill to ensure that ACCS is not impacted and can continue to move forward with the processes and procedures that we have developed since last year. In fact, the legislature's been very positive on what they've seen that we have put into place, and it has actually been used as a model for others that are looking at similar things. So obviously we'll continue to monitor these bills and engage in these issues and other issues that come up as we finish up the legislative session to ensure that we benefit our system and our colleges to the best way possible. So that's just kind of a very brief update. Do you all have any questions?
But I think I would like to add that, we have just recently contracted with 2 new employees who come to work for Mark in the facilities operation. One happens to that comes to us from Georgia, who has a background in doing the same thing in another state. and the other comes to us from, he's an architect who was responsible for the entire campus of Auburn. He comes to work with us in this. So two qualified people who know what they're doing to assist Mark in working with all the college presidents. So I think it's important to note that at this point, we're strengthening what we're doing, which I believe is one of the main reasons we are not involved in the previous, in the existing legislation.
Correct. Yeah, everything I've heard is, it's been a very positive response to how we have structured the construction management since that bill passed.
Thank you, Moon. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Do we have any committee reports? Okay, no committee reports. All right, the date and location of our next meeting, we'll have the work session. Following this meeting, we'll take a brief 5-minute break, and it will begin after this meeting. Our next board meeting is scheduled, well, let's see, it's scheduled for April 13th in this boardroom. Now, is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, meeting adjourned.
I'm on my way home.
All right, we'd like to begin our work session, and I guess the first item on the agenda is academic and student affairs, and we have Chattahoochee Valley Community College. Do we have a representative from Chattahoochee Valley?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Chairman Davis, Chancellor Baker, board members. I'm Dr. Shante Calhoun, Dean of Instruction at CV, and I'm here to present 2 new programs for consideration at Chattahoochee Valley. The first program is the Associate of Applied Science in Emergency Medical Services, Paramedic. The Associate of Applied Science degree in Emergency Medical Services will prepare individuals in the theoretical and clinical practice of paramedics. In accordance with the National Occupational Handbook, employment of emergency medical technicians and paramedics is projected to grow 11% by 2030, which is faster than average. In Alabama, the projected growth is 19% by 2026. This program has been identified by the Alabama Committee of Credentialing and Career Pathways as in-demand occupation in Region 5, which is the college's workforce region. Students will be able to comprehend, apply, evaluate clinical information, demonstrate technical proficiency in all skills necessary to fulfill the role of paramedic, demonstrate personal behaviors and attitudes consistent with professional and employer expectations, and demonstrate personal behaviors and attitudes consistent with safe operation of an ambulance or other emergency vehicles. Paramedics are highly trained and skilled medical professionals. Paramedics are utilized as emergency care practitioners on ambulances or on first response emergency vehicles. Opportunities of more specialized employment of experienced paramedics exist in emergency rooms, acute care clinics, offshore oil drilling platforms, and new to this profession, paramedics are being staffed as mobile integrated healthcare or community paramedics to provide urgent or non-urgent care in patients' home. The program will seek accreditation through the Commission on Accreditation of Allied Health Education Programs. The program is developed with stackable credentials. Individuals will earn a short certificate, and Associate of Applied Science and Emergency Medical Services paramedic. Graduates will be eligible to sit for the National Registry of Emergency Medical Technicians licensure exam. The college took a lot of time in vetting this program before developing the proposal, and we got feedback from all of our stakeholders. We got feedback from the Alabama Department of Public Health, Emergency Medical Services, Russell County Emergency Management Agency, our Program Advisory Committee, and student surveys. We have letters of support from EMS Care Ambulance LLC, Haynes Ambulance of Phoenix City and Russell County, and Dr. Cindy Parker, EMS Medical Director. The EMS Paramedic Program will afford students another option for a healthcare occupation. Currently, CVC has LPN, nursing, and medical assistant. The college currently offers short certificates in EMT Basic and Advanced EMT, and these courses will lead towards the paramedics degree. We do have faculty already on staff credentialed to teach this program. We have the facilities and the equipment available. The program will meet the demand of emergency medical services in the state and local service areas. And additionally, because of the close proximity to Georgia, our students or graduates from this program will have more than enough employment opportunities on Alabama and Georgia. The program is recommended for approval by AIC and is on the March agenda. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Kell.
Our next program for approval. We're requesting approval of Associate of Applied Science Medical Laboratory Technician. And the Associate of Applied Science degree in Medical Laboratory Technician, or MLT, will prepare individuals for entry-level competencies to perform clinical laboratory tests in all major areas of the medical laboratory. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the employment of clinical laboratory technicians is projected to grow by 11% by 2030, which is faster than average. In Alabama, 2,790 jobs in clinical laboratory technicians are projected by 2024. As with the previous program, this program is also identified by the Alabama Committee of Credentialing and Career Pathways as an in-demand occupation in Area and Region 5. Students will be able to demonstrate knowledge in laboratory safety, HIPAA and other laboratory standards, perform, evaluate, correlate, and assure accuracy and validity of laboratory information, direct and supervise clinical laboratory resources and operations, and collaborate with diagnosing and treating patients. Medical laboratory technicians perform routine medical laboratory tests for diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of disease. MLT is responsible for supporting scientists and medical professionals in research, testing, and laboratory maintenance. MLT professionals demonstrate ethical and moral attitudes and principles necessary for gaining and maintaining the confidence of patients, professional associates, and the community. The program will seek accreditation through the National Accrediting Agency for Clinical Laboratory Sciences. The program is a terminal degree, so individuals completing this degree will earn an Associates of Applied Science. Graduates will be eligible to sit for the National Board of Certification by the American Society of Clinical Pathology. Again, we vetted this program like the other program, and we got feedback from our program advisory committees, area healthcare facilities, and student surveys. We have letters of support from St. Francis Emory Healthcare, Department of Pathology, Martin Army Community Hospital, Fort Benning. The MAT program will afford students, again, another health care option. As I said previously, we already have LPN, nursing, and medical assistant. There's no MLT program within a 50-mile radius of the college. We do have the facilities in place. This will be a shared services with equipment and facilities with our current health science programs, but we will have to hire a faculty member because we do not have a credentialed faculty member on staff. The program will assist with fulfilling a significant need for medical laboratory technicians in the college's service area. Additionally, and this is a very key point why we need this program, MZ Occupation Overview projects 603 jobs available for clinical laboratory technicians by 2030 within a 50-mile radius of the college, and that is including Georgia. The program is recommended for approval by AIC and is on the March agenda. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Catlin? Thank you.
Thank you.
And next is Gadsden State Community College.
Well, good morning, Mr. Chairman, Chancellor Baker, and members of the board. My name is Ken Kirkland, and I'm the Dean of Health Sciences at Gadsden State. And so it'd be my pleasure to walk you through our application for the proposal of a dental assistant program. And I also want to recognize, of course, Dr. Kathy Murphy and her support for this program, as well as Mr. Kevin McFry, our CFO, who's accompanied us here today. So, I believe our slides are not pulled up yet. Got it. If it'll go. I broke your technology, Chancellor. I'm sorry. While we're waiting on the slide to pull up, we can walk through a brief overview of the occupation for dental assistant. So dental assistants are prepared for not only what's called four-handed dentistry, which means two hands of the dentist, two hands of the dental assistant, but they're also trained in limited radiography or x-ray studies, as well as some billing and procedures for upfront reception work as well. And so it is a kind of a mixture from what you may be accustomed to with dental hygienists who are primarily clinical in nature. And so both dental assistants and dental hygienists are in demand. And so this was listed as an in-demand occupation for Region 2, which encompasses the college's service area. And so looking at the Alabama Department of Labor statistics for this program, There are 30 annual openings per year for dental assistants through 2024. When looking at EMSI, though, it extends that out to 2030, where we see 85 annual openings per year. And I believe a little bit of that difference between that depends on the denominator that they're using in their employment forecasting. And so, in addition to being an in-demand occupation, I've listed the aging of the existing dental workforce. A lot of individuals don't know that over 1/3 of Alabama's dental workforce is age 60 or older. And so within the next 5 years, if we follow the trends that we've seen in 2019 and 2020 with those that are eligible for retirement starting to seek that out, Alabama is going to be in a pretty bad position as far as needing those skilled laborers. In addition to that, we also wanted to make sure, is there an existing student need? And so we did survey our students that were currently enrolled in our summer 2021 cohort. We did see a total of 775 students respond to that survey, and 241 indicated yes or strongly would consider a career in dental assisting or dental sciences. And in addition to that, we looked at health occupations, how many applications are received each year, and a lot of times that's based off the number of students and your clinical capacity for your programs. And so we wanted to see how many students applied for certain programs that may not have had another option available to them. That total was 558. And before we start being alarmed at that number, to put that into context, 300 of those 558 did not have an A number and did not have a transcript on file. And so something we've been able to do since my tenure at Gadsden so far is we've turned all of our health program applications as an online application. It's a single application for all health programs. It's housed in the portal, which means the only way you get to the portal is to visit our one-stop, visit with our enrollment services folks, and become registered with the college, which means you're issued an A number and that you're also starting to request those transcripts to be on file. So now what we're able to see is that students that are applying for programs, instead of getting that letter that says, I'm sorry you were not able to be enrolled in this program, they now have options of saying, I'd like to be considered for this program instead. And so instead of having to send them out and have them reapply to another program, we're now able to take that application and just move it to the next bin down the line instead of sending those students to another door. In addition to that, we surveyed through our institutional research department how many students that are general studies majors right now have already completed all of the prerequisite education needed and may not have declared another major or a major for them to be able to leave with a credential in hand. That total number was 964 students that are eligible today to be able to enter the dental sciences program. And so we've demonstrated there is a student need, and we believe that will help continue the sustainability of this program long after its initial start. And in addition to that, the college sits in the Alabama Dental Association's 5th district. That compromises a total of 75 different dental practitioners in the region. And so among those were some very vocal people that said this is a program that they wanted here at Gadsden State, and you see those names listed up there. And to just kind of comment back to the aging of the dental workforce, Dr. Connell there listed in Anniston, so we have a mix of not only rural, but we also have a mix of urban centers as well. Dr. Connell inherited the practice from her father, and all of the dental assistants that were working for her father are still working for her, and that total number is 22. And so she's concerned that within the next couple of years that her staffing needs and the ability to meet the needs of citizens in Anniston will be able to benefit from having recruitment out of our programs. Program overview, as far as where is the program going to be located, we have the honor of having an HBCU campus, and we believe in diversity and inclusion in our healthcare programs and offerings, and one of the ways is to maximize those opportunities being available to those students. And so housing that at our Valley Street campus, this is a floor plan or layout of what that lab will look like. These were some tables and chairs that were available to be able to start the program immediately once the program has been approved. In addition to that, student throughput, we've coordinated with our Title III coordinator and campus director to be able to come up with some pretty innovative recruiting strategies, and I'll be excited to start recruiting for this program almost immediately upon the board's approval. We plan on taking 20 students in the first year. That number may not seem very high, but this program is accredited by the Commission on Dental Accreditation. And so when you're looking at CODA, unlike other health disciplines, most of those health disciplines are ratioed. So if we take the example of nursing, which we sometimes draw comparisons to, Nursing may vary of a 1 to 6 for ICU or OB, 1 to 8 for med surg, or 1 to 10 for nursing home. When we deal with CODA, you're dealing in ratios of 1 to 5. And so starting at 20 and then building that capacity from there will be more than a viable option for the college. And you see the revenue streams in your board package there, that it is enough to support with just 20 students and still maintain viability and sustainability for the program. And then lastly, I want to kind of comment on service learning opportunities. I believe in service learning as our way of being able to infuse back into the communities that we exist in and also serve. And so our dental assisting program will be providing free dental screenings to local daycares and child care centers, in addition to the elementary schools in our service area. And so it serves as just a great tool of demonstrating to the community that we're here and that we are also part of that community. In addition to that, the culmination of the degree of Associate of Applied Science, or for those who need to exit earlier than being able to complete the degree, have the opportunity to still have a long certificate in dental assisting. And that either or allows them the opportunity to certify through the Dental Assistant National Boards or DANB exam. This concludes my very brief presentation to you, because I know that there was information in the board packet. So it'd be my honor to take any questions that you might have for me at this time.
Thanks, Dean Kirkland.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Next is Lorleen B. Wallace Community College.
Good morning, Chancellor, Chairman, members of the board. I'm Shannon Levitsky. I'm Dean of Instruction at Lorleen B. Wallace Community College. And we are here today to respectfully request approval of a new Associate in Applied Science degree in Building Construction with an embedded certificate. The degree is 68 hours. The certificate is a 31-hour, 2-semester certificate. Just some information about this new program. Carpenters, construction laborers, construction managers appear on both statewide and Region 6 ACCCP demand occupation lists, and there is expected 6% growth between 2020 and 2030 in construction and extraction occupations. And in our particular area, we expect to see high retirement in the near future. So there's a very high demand for construction occupations in our immediate area. This program complements other construction and manufacturing programs at our college, including industrial, electronics, and welding, which are our 2 largest career technical programs. Those 2 programs alone comprise 300 students, with more enrolling every day. So we are very confident that there's going to be interest in this particular program. We have strong support not only from Crenshaw and Covington County, from our K-12 partners who are very interested in dual enrollment opportunities with construction education, but also strong support from our employers in our region. We actually have been getting requests for several years for construction programs at the college. This was extensively vetted by our industry partners. We administered an industry interest survey, received 15 immediate responses from local employers in our area, including WB Construction and Wyatt Sasser, who have support letters in our packet, as well as Sender Construction, Abram Homes, CDG Engineers, and several others. In their survey, 100% indicated that they would hire graduates with training in this discipline. 93% indicated that they would partner with the college to provide work-based learning opportunities in the form of co-ops or internships, apprenticeships. And these 15 companies alone projected that they would be hiring over 80 full-time employees in the next few years. And that's just employers in our very immediate area. Just to give you a little bit more information about the need for this, we've already hired an instructor. He's become OSHA instructor certified, NCCER certified, and we have offered a non-credit building construction program that will run March through May. That was posted on social media, and as our director of marketing said yesterday, it broke the internet. We saw 350 shares within the first week. It reached 36,000 people. We only have 15 spots for that non-credit training and already have 45 applicants. So we partnered with the Alabama Home Builders Association to provide that non-credit training. realized immediately that there was very high interest in the program. The city of Andalusia has offered to underwrite a second training course for us because of the need in our immediate area. So that's just non-credit training in the next few months, and we hope that this will generate interest for our credit-bearing program in the fall when we expect to open. Completers will receive both OSHA 10 and NCCER credentials. As I mentioned before, the instructor is already hired and certified, working on curriculum there. We do have plans to explore accreditation with the American Council for Construction Education. After 2024, their criteria indicate that programs must graduate at least one cohort prior to applying, so that is something we're interested in doing once we get our program up and running. And we do have a SAC COC substantive change prospectus in motion for that program as well. Learning outcomes for that program is that students will work safely in a construction environment, apply technical skills to residential and commercial building construction and remodeling, use construction tools and equipment safely and efficiently, demonstrate a working knowledge of masonry, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, electrical and mechanical systems, plumbing, carpentry, site layout, and foundation systems, and will apply knowledge of blueprint reading, building codes, construction estimating, and site preparation. So those are the comprehensive outcomes for the degree program. Are there any additional questions I could answer about that program?
No, there's a tremendous need. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is J.F. Drake, State Community College.
Good morning, Chancellor Baker, members of the board, Chairman. I'm here today to present to you the application for Drake State Community and Technical College and their proposed partnership with Huntsville Hospital. One of the things that Drake has done, Drake has reached a partnership with Huntsville Hospital to basically create more opportunities for their LPN programs. And just to give you a small background about this, there's a nursing shortage that is very critical across the state. However, the recent data that we received in Workforce Region 1 for Drake, there are about annual openings of 200. And what happened in summer of 2021, Governor Kay Ivey signed in law Act 2021-239, which basically provided funding for standalone LPN programs. Drake was one of 11 colleges that actually applied for that particular grant and was awarded. And they have been using those fundings to help expand their nursing, their LPN program that they already had in place. So Drake already having an affiliation with Huntsville Hospital, one of the things that they did is that the president and chief CEO, Mr. Tracy Dalton, he reached out to Drake to provide them this growth opportunity to allow these students at Drake to grow and expand. So what they did is that here, you can see the building. The building will be housed at 290 Cochran Road in Huntsville. And what this does, this building is about 18 minutes away from the main campus. But what they're going to do is an older building. Huntsville Hospital has determined that they're going to refurbish the building. The building will be able to house about 25 students in their clinical labs and in their coursework. They're going to put all brand new projectors, simulation labs, so they can fit these 25 students comfortably. Here's the best thing about this. They're donating this. So, free of charge. So the best part about this, Huntsville Hospital will be donating this facility free of charge to Drake State Community College to allow their LPN program to expand. And with this expansion, this now provides the students the opportunity to not only gain their clinical competencies, but to also grow in a professional medical environment. As they finish the program, they're also going to be looking to transition to Huntsville Hospital to potentially work for that facility. Drake State found a way basically to create this career pathway, and Dr. Henderson and Dr. Raven did a great job identifying the need in Workforce Region 1 to provide this MOU to be put in place for the career advancements for their LPN students. I yield my time at this moment to answer any questions that you may have.
Exciting program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is we're looking at facilities. Mr. Salmon.
Good morning, board members. We have 5 items for facility consideration this morning. have 2 for Bishop State, 1 at Calhoun, and 2 items at Trenham. At Bishop State, we are currently in the process of working on a build-out of Building 500 down at the southwest campus. This is the partnership with Alabama Power, and the space will be developed for the HVAC program that they're expanding into that area. This shows you the location of that building in proximity to the rest of the buildings at the southwest campus. The project right now, we have that for review in front of the City of Mobile. We expect that that approval will come back this week, and then we will put this project out to bid so that we can bring back the bid results to you in the April board meeting. The project will run approximately 4 to 6 months, and we expect to be able to complete that and are pushing even to have that ready for the students as they come back for the fall semester. Funding for the project and the budget is set at $1.2 million between architect's fees and the price of the construction. Board members, any questions about this particular project? The next project that we have, board members, is a change order on the main campus in Mobile at Bishop State. This is change order number 5 and is tied with the Allied Health building that's currently being renovated. In this particular building, you can see the location of it on the campus, but we have 3 issues that were identified in this particular request. One was the stormwater. Initially, it was intended to have a swell to move the water around the building to the drainage that exists on the site. As they got into it, they did find that the drainage itself that they were moving the water to, it had collapsed, and thus that resulted where we needed to go in and to take care of this work and make that particular drain functional again. The other part that we did not anticipate, there was an alternate bid that was taken that we did not accept at that time, but it was deemed also necessary to take and put a perimeter drain around the building and the sidewalks in this location. Part 2 is the fire line that comes into the building. It was anticipated that the size of this line was going to be 6 inches. When they got into it, it was one of those hidden conditions. They found that it was a 4-inch line. We needed to size up that line in order to be able to meet code and have capacity to sprinkle the building. The third one is the sanitary sewer. And this particular one here, one of the lines, one of the laterals in there, as they got into it and were tying into that particular drain, they did find that that line had absolutely silted up. So because of the nature of this particular drain and just because of the shallow slope, we went back in and we're in the process of wanting to move forward with a 6-inch line to be able to accommodate the sanitary portions of the drain in this change order. Those are the components of this particular change order. This is the current budget that we did approve as a board when the project was started. With these changes that do go into effect, we will increase the budget from $5.2 million to about 5.5, right here, $5.48 million. Board members, any questions or discussion about the change order request before you? These are outside the building. The next project we have is we have progressed in our design of the resident hall project that is a shared project between Calhoun and Athens State. We currently have those drawings progressing enough that the City of Decatur is reviewing those plans, and we expect to bring back to the board bid results in the April board meeting. This is the site, this is the project of building a dormitory for 80 students in downtown Decatur to meet the needs of both of these colleges. We also have, this is part of that special $15 million building appropriation that was allocated specifically by the state for this particular project. You can see the elevations that we're currently looking and have been developed for this project. As this project goes forward and we move to accept bids, we expect to have this project ready for our students for the fall semester of 2023. Construction cost is set at $15 million. We have taken into consideration some alternates so that we can keep this project within that $15 million budget that has been established. Any questions about this particular project? Okay. The next project that we have, board members, is at Trenham. This is for the CDL track that is located in West Montgomery on the West Campus. Right here you can see that we have a parking lot that is identified in the upper right-hand corner. This is the site that is going to be modified to accommodate training for the CDL program. The lot will expand a little bit to the north and to the west to accommodate distances that are needed for trucks as they come into this location. We will also, as part of this project, take the main entrance as you come off of Air Base Boulevard and come back to the east. We will resurface that road, clean that up, and give it a new layer of asphalt. Bidding for this, we expect to be able to take and bring bid results back to you next month at the April board meeting. And we are shooting to have this site ready for the students as they come back for the fall of this particular year. Any questions or discussions about this particular project? One detail I did leave out, budget has been set at this at about $1.1 million. And then the last project that we have is also for Trenham. This is for HVAC improvements also on the campus in West Montgomery as well. You can see the buildings that have been identified here, and then two buildings up on the hill, the library tower and the Dickerson Education Center. The intent is to go into this location and take the aging mechanical systems for heating and air conditioning and to change those out, and also to address anything that's associated with the mechanical, such as electrical panels that do service the equipment that are also become obsolete. This project will bid. We'll bring the results back to you in April. We are anticipating that we can complete this work as we go into the Thanksgiving period of this year. Budget is set for $3 million, and this will be funded through CARES funds that are available to us from the federal government. Any questions or comments about this request? Board members, thank you.